Welcome to the Realty Plus Real Talk series, where we talk to industry experts for their honest views and opinions and real facts and figures. And to give us the real facts and figures today, we have with us Mr. Sachin Bhandari, who is the CEO of VTP Realty, which is one of the largest and the most well-known real estate development firm of Pune. Mr. Bhandari, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sapna.
So, Mr. Bhandari, a lot of predictions were happening about real estate, not doing well, economy going down. But in last few months, it has been seen that real estate, in fact, has done better than what was expected and what was being predicted. So, my two questions to you: one is, in general, what are the reasons that real estate has done better than what people or the analysts were expecting? And secondly, Pune market. Again, there have been reports which says that Pune real estate has already done sales in October, which is equivalent to 3 months of July to September. So secondly, how come Pune is doing even better than many other cities?
Okay, quite aptly asked, Sapna, I must say. So people have been talking negative about real estate for quite a long time. In fact, I believe everybody loves to talk negative about the real estate. Okay, uh, and I believe that only works in favor of real estate because, again, I believe developers and everybody connected with the real estate industry comes back, bounces back, with a stronger will and with the better intention and the better work. So I think that has been happening out there. So over a period of time, developers themselves have been changing. Okay, the way they have been conducting their businesses, the way they have been approaching the customers. Okay, practically, and even the architectural form, the way they design their project. So everything has been changing very, very fast. So while customers have changed over a period of time with too much of knowledge with the digital era happening now, the developers also have adapted to this change. Okay, and so today's real estate industry is not the same what it was earlier, say maybe 7, 8 years back. So today the developers are much more evolved, much more customer centric, and you can say that they are having quite a progressive mindset today than the earlier years. Obviously, customers across all the cities in the country are appreciating this. They are liking the products. They are preferring the price level that developers are coming out with, and the end result is obviously the offtake is much better than what it was expected. More than that, uh, home remains a basic need of any individual. Okay, and India is growing in terms of population. The nuclear families are growing. That's a trend that's continuing, and with that happening, and so many people are migrating from the smaller towns and villages to the bigger cities. Okay, so it's no wonder that real estate is doing very, very good across country. So I'm really not surprised. But I believe while being the basic need and migration are the old phenomena happening now also, I believe the only change that has happened in the last few years is the change of the developers. Okay, and that's been a highly impactful for the whole industry, and this has resulted in a whole lot of positive after effects for the whole industry. That's for the whole country as such. Looking at Pune, Sapna, I think I always keep saying this. I feel fortunate to be in Pune. Pune real estate market is one of the best in the country. I keep saying this. I've been saying this for several years now. Okay, and I keep saying this. And why I've been so bullish about Pune all along is Pune market is something which is very balanced market. Okay, it doesn't grow very fast. It doesn't come down very fast. It's a very balanced market. It's a market which is dominated by end users and end users of different segments again. So Pune itself is an industrial hub. So there have been it's an auto hub, it's a manufacturing hub. That's been the history of Pune. Pune is the Oxford of East. So major educational institutes are here. Uh, Several thousands and some 40, 50,000 kind of students are pass out from graduation in Pune. Across the country, everybody loves to be in Pune to learn, to get education, be it the graduation or the post graduation. My understanding is even if at least 50% of those prefer to stay back in Pune, imagine the demand getting generated for the real estate. Okay, so people are coming here for employment, people are coming here for education. uh, yes, around say now 20 years plus now, the IT revolution has started in the country, and after Bangalore and Hyderabad, Pune is one of the major city who has contributed in the IT growth. So Pune again remains one of the major city having major IT dominance. So Pune has got education as an industry. Pune has got a manufacturing auto as an industry. Pune has got an IT as an industry. Okay,
Right.
so be it a manufacturing industry, be it service industry. With all these things, hospitality, the service industry, okay, has got again a dominant presence in Pune. So Pune is unlike other cities who are either manufacturing oriented or are only IT oriented. It has got all. Okay, and I keep saying this: whether one industry is doing good or bad, Pune real estate doesn't go down. Okay,
Mhm.
so something or the other thing is always balancing the Pune real estate industry. More than this, Pune is a sought after city in Maharashtra as well as in the country. People love to stay, people love to work in Pune. The climate, the kind of living conditions. Several research reports keep saying this that Pune is one of the most lovable living city out there in the country. Okay, so people love to be in Pune. It's not a small city, it's not a very big city. The cultural life is fantastic, safety is super fantastic. Uh, Pune is the only city perhaps in the country where women can drive on a scooty or a Honda Activa at 2 o'clock in the night safely. Okay, so Pune is a wonderful city out there. So be it migration happening from other cities in the country or in the Maharashtra, everybody loves to be in Pune. It is also called a pensioners paradise. So again, old people anyways prefer to stay in Pune if this is not sufficient still. Okay, Mumbai being close to Pune, I believe that's a super fantastic blessing for a Pune city. Okay, and the challenges faced by the Mumbaikars out there, hectic lifestyle, the climate not being great out there. They love to have their second home or a holiday home or an investment in Pune. So at least 20% of Pune's business happens from Mumbai customers. And that's a huge contribution, I believe. So that's the reason Pune real estate never goes down. And even if you see some slowdown in real estate for some matter in Pune, it's one of the first city in the country to bounce back.
Right.
Okay, and if all these things are there, NRs are there. Okay, so NRs have got obvious interest in Pune, very stable city, stable growth in terms of appreciation. So all those factors actually contribute in Pune bouncing back. So after Corona, it's no wonder again that Pune is one of the first city in the country to bounce back and doing better than other cities in the whole country. Okay, and
Fantastic.
in fact, the way it's coming back is doing absolutely awesome. Developers in Pune, I believe that they are much better placed. They are quite dynamic compared to other cities. They are much more transparent. The RERA is perhaps the most successful in Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, RERA is most successful in Pune. The maximum number of projects in the MahaRERA also are there from Pune. Okay, so it clearly shows the intentions, the good intentions of the Pune developers. Okay, so they are being very dynamic, they have been customer oriented, and there has been basic demand in Pune. So all in all, so Pune has been doing fantastically well.
So for everyone out there, Mr. Bhandari just listed the advantages of being in Pune and why Pune city is so vibrant, and I completely agree with you. And 2 points that you made, that one of the reasons that real estate has bounced back quickly overall is now developers are more customer centric. They are making projects as what the customer needs now. And secondly, for Pune, again, you said it's much more transparent, and I believe the customer base is quite stable there, as you mentioned, that manufacturing units and the IT units, because these are the people who have been less impacted, I believe, by COVID rather than the lower middle income and probably the very high income. And obviously, NRI's interest, in fact, we have seen it has grown during COVID.
Yes,
They wanted, for financial or emotional reasons, wanted to invest in
true.
Indian real estate. Again, we have also seen, as you mentioned, the consumer is becoming much more aware. They are much more tech savvy also.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a lot of changes in their demand also now because of COVID. They have realized the importance of owning their own home. They are also looking at now locations which are at the outskirts, as you mentioned, because there are a lot of COVID hotspots which are within the cities. Remote working, work from home. So integrated townships, a lot of favorism for integrated township is being seen among consumer base. Do you see this trend going to stay once the COVID is over, hopefully very soon, or again once people will start going to office every day, they will prefer projects which are near the city centers? How do you see that?
Okay, I was going through an article, I think yesterday only in Economic Times, which was talking about perhaps this trend, I believe, and somebody was talking about this trend happening out there in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and somewhere it mentioned Pune also. Okay, Sapna, I got little different view on this. Okay, when it comes to Pune in particular, it might be surely happening in other cities. In when it comes to Pune in particular, in Pune, the township always have been in demand. So there are multiple townships in Pune. They have done quite very well. At least I am seeing the township developments in Pune since 2007, I believe. Yeah, 2007, 2008. Okay, earlier to that also. Okay, 2004, 2005. So Pune always customers have been always inclined towards the township living. Okay, the suburban living, and the reason are obvious. And okay, so for me in Pune, this is not a new trend. This has been the trend going on for several years now, for more than a decade. Okay, that people in Pune have been preferring to stay in townships. Okay, so my understanding in Pune market is there is certain segment who prefer to stay in a central location. Okay, the reason being for them, their generation have been staying there. They are emotionally attached to those locations. They don't need very big amenities or those kind of living. They prefer those age-old locations, the central locations. They want that connectivity. They want that accessibility, the fast accessibility to all the areas of the city. Okay, so they are, you can say, and their near and dear ones are staying nearby in the central location. So that is a segment. I believe even today, even after Corona, also they are preferring to stay in the central locations only. So business is happening quite good even in the central location even now after Corona. Okay, so that segment is very very different altogether. They are not the ones who will easily go out and and check out different areas, at least for staying. For investment they might go to townships or other areas, but for staying for the end use, they will prefer to stay in the central locations because they have got different emotional setup for them. Okay, coming back to the most of the other segment, the mid segment, the IT guys, the guys who are working in the industrial areas. Yes, in Pune there have been a liking and a preference for staying in the township kind of a development. Okay, which has got kind of mixed use development. The commercial developments are there, residential developments are there. There are a lot of amenities out there to enjoy the life. Okay, the various recreational zones are there, to basically enhance your physical as well as the emotional well-being. You've got office setups out there, walk to work kind of facilities are there. Okay, you got hospitals, you got shopping areas, you got dining areas. So and all the safeties, be it police stations, fire station, everything is there. So practically a small city or a town, which is created out there, and with all the facilities, and where all the customers feel quite comfortable, because a working person is out there most of the time, and the family is out there in the home, and they should be taken care of very very well with all the conveniences and the luxuries. So that has been the preference in Pune for quite a long time, and that's the reason so many township has been doing good over a period of time. Not just our township is doing good, but all the townships are doing quite good in Pune. And even after Corona, I believe that this trend is continues. And for Pune, I have been quite bullish on the township, and it continues and it will continue. Customers will prefer to buy the homes in township, okay, for end use as well as for the investment purpose. We are also seeing that the capital value appreciation is generally higher in the township for the basic convenience and the luxuries that a township development offers. Even the rental values are generally on a higher side in the township kind of a development. So it makes a whole lot of a sense for an end user as well as the investor to buy in a township, and makes use of the township kind of a development, and enhance your capital value also. So that's very obvious. And Pune, yes, Pune has been witnessing this kind of trend for several years now. And I believe that I was going through the ET article yesterday, and other cities also, I believe, echoing the same trend now.
So basically, for Pune, whether it is Corona or not, the reasons are different. It is people who are buying in townships are those who are working there, as you mentioned, the manufacturing units, which are basically mostly on outskirts, or IT
Right.
companies which have large campuses around there.
Yes.
And the capital appreciation, obviously, because people who will be renting there are the ones who are working in those companies. In commercial sector, again, there is another emerging trend across cities is hub and spoke, which a lot of people are talking about, that corporations or the organizations, instead of leasing a big large office or a floor plate in the CBD area, they will have smaller offices in multiple locations for employees to work remotely. Do you see this trend happening? Is that happening in Pune? How is it?
I believe I attended several webinars. We discussed with several experts on this topic. Even during the lockdown period, what's going to happen with the commercial, because that's where the major worry was and is perhaps. But I believe that it was blown out of proportion. Okay, and market is proving that it was blown out of proportion. We as a human being has got a tendency to reach extremes and conclude very very fast. And markets keep denying the assumptions that we keep making. Okay, so I believe that during the lockdown period, everybody started saying that the work from home has become the new trend and this is going to continue. Several IT companies have already declared that till March 21 or June 21, work from home is going to continue and whatnot. Okay, and obviously because of that, office space demand is going to be affected and everything. So basically, everybody predicted a doomsday for a commercial real estate. Okay, I have got a different opinion again on this. Okay, see, we as a human being adjust to the new trends and the new challenges that we come across in our life. So Corona and the lockdown has thrown on us a challenge that we need to work also. We need to take care of the company businesses and the economy. At the same time, we need to safeguard our lives. And that's where the work from home started as a rampantly across all the industries, not only in IT, but across all the industries, including real estate and banking and everywhere. Okay. And if you remember pre-corona level, to have a video meeting, somebody you will always see happening on I just want to arrange a VC. Okay. Can you please arrange a VC for me, please? Okay. Please, can you book a VC for me at this time, please? Okay. And this kind of dialogues going on in the corporate offices, that was very common. I know somebody doing a VC was supposed to be my God. Okay. So that was supposed to be a very different thing, at the pre-corona time. Now imagine after lockdown, um, just a matter of a few seconds and instructions and then a call away and we are connecting on the video calls. Okay. The whole thing had changed. Okay. No doubt. So Corona and the lockdown has forced on us a big change and practically everybody has become comfortable working from home or working from anywhere for that matter. Not only home, people have been staying in the hotels and the resorts and working from there. Okay, so I know for sort of people, friends and colleagues and relatives who have been there in Goa now and working from a resort. Okay, and enjoying their life there and working quite seriously. So the most important change this Corona and lockdown has brought upon all of us is it has made us comfortable to work with Microsoft Teams or Zoom or whatsoever, Google Team and Google Meets and all that thing. And it's become a very common way of work. Earlier, it was always thought that we need to meet in person, okay, to get the right understanding or to reach the right conclusions out there. I believe that everything has, basically has evaporated those kind of thinkings, and the new way of working has come in for sure. And even today, so we are doing this discussion across the Zoom call. So that is a new in thing, no doubt about it. Okay, you are there, you're not required to travel at all. No inconveniences to you, and I'm quite comfortable while I'm in office. But it's more than the working from home. It's more about working from anywhere. Okay, and I believe now everybody has become comfortable to work from anywhere. Okay, so while that's a fact, believe me, the moment the unlock has started, except the IT have gone back to the office workings. Okay, done from the homes or anywhere, quite if you were not required in office at our industry, real estate, completely works from office. Our construction happens at the site. Our sales happens at the site. Okay, so while in lockdown we had done a lot of online sales, but believe me, the moment unlock started, even the customers have started coming back to the sites and checking out the sample flats and doing the decision at the site. Be it for us, be it the restaurants, be it the hotels, practically every other industry has started coming back to the office. Okay, I believe the only IT industry is there. It will take longer time to come back to the office, but I'm telling you, sooner or later, it is going to come back to the norm.
So we are
Okay,
going to.
certain segments, yes, companies, yeah. So certain segments in IT, as a company might take a call that is keep on working from home or anywhere else, okay, to maybe to cut down the cost, the admin cost and the office cost and all those things, okay. But I believe that over a period of time that might even come down. I was going through some articles in our business review also, how working from home is not really great as it was envisaged or thought by many experts earlier. It is having a lot of a bad effect on the psychology of the people out there who are working from home. Earlier, it was thought very good to work from home, that people thought that they are giving too much of time, good time to their families, but no, it is not the case. 24-hour work, the work is happening out there. People need a mental break. People started feeling that they need to take a holiday even if they are working from home. Okay, so it is taking a toll on their mental health. Unlike earlier thought process that it should be very good to work from home, it is really turning out that it is not good. Okay, so people need to move out of the home. People need to work from office to not only maintain their physical health but even the mental health, and to contribute more efficiently towards the output that what that person is supposed to deliver. So I believe the process already started to come back to the office, and for IT also over a period of time it will happen. To what extent it will happen, time will tell us. It's too early even for me or anybody else to predict that, but I believe the things are going to be normal very soon. And no wonder the transactions have started happening in the commercial real estate, even in the retail industry, which was affected very badly and it was not working since very recent times. So even the transactions started happening in the office space as well as the retail industry. So I believe the things are becoming normal quite faster than it was thought earlier.
That's true. We have seen a lot of big deals happening very recently, last few months for office spaces, and the REITs performance again. It shows the investors' confidence in Indian office real estate. And as you
True.
correctly mentioned, that sooner or later we all will be back in office like before, because a lot of studies have said people are craving to get back to their normal pattern of going to office and coming back home. So good news for, I believe, commercial real estate, and already we are seeing the signs in terms of the investments that are happening in commercial real estate. Again, a lot of the uptick in real estate is being attributed to the incentives that have been provided by the government in terms of a lot of relief in stamp duty or income tax, or the lower home loan interest rates. um, so these are to increase the demand over a short period of time. But what are the deep rooted reforms you feel that the real estate requires from the government, if the real estate has to become one of the biggest contributor to the Indian economy?
Okay. So while government has been doing perhaps their best, be it at the central level or the state level in Maharashtra at least, okay, to revive the demand in the real estate and to bounce back to the pre-corona levels. So while they have been doing fantastic in terms of bringing stability, be it arranging the finances for the developers at very low interest rates, those were the phenomenal, you can say, initiatives by the central and the state governments. But I believe those are the temporary ones. So as an industry for quite a long time, there has been a demand to do some reforms at the industry level. The first being that uh, for a real estate industry or any developer in the real estate industry to launch any project after acquisition of the land takes several months and years. Now, why it takes is obviously the developer buys the land, invests huge money out there. Okay, many times will borrow the money at a higher rate of interest. okay, or we'll get some equity partner again where the cost is very high. After that, the designing starts and the various approval process starts. And unfortunately, we have got several approval windows, several approving authorities, which may not be even connected with each other. And there are several approvals which cannot be done simultaneously, which means that one after the other approval has to be processed. And it's quite time consuming. And it involves a lot of maneuvers, okay, as well as the money as well as the time and efforts required for this is so much so that it might take even years to launch a project after the land acquisition. Now, what does it mean? And what is the problem in this? The problem in this is the interest meter has started for a developer. Okay, and generally at the land level, interest rates are very high. Even if it is equity investment, the cost is very high. If it is getting added to the cost of the product, okay, it's finally going to be passed on to the customer. Okay, so if we can reduce this time cycle, okay, from say 1 year to 6 months or 6 months to 3 months, okay, it's going to directly save the cost for the developer. And obviously, if the cost is getting saved for the developer, developer might pass it on that benefit to the customer in terms of reduced price. And obviously, customer is going to get benefited. Customer is going to get benefited. More customers are going to afford to buy a home. And if the more demand is going to be generated, obviously, the more tax revenues for the government. So practically, this can be a win-win for all, be it for customer or the government for the developer. But somehow it's not been happening. It's just that several people have been, industry experts have been saying that approval windows need to come down. The time required for taking the approvals, different approval has to come down. Okay, and the efforts required to take this approval has to come down. I believe this has been long pending, and this needs to be addressed. Sooner we address it, better it is for everybody. That's one. Second remains the easy finance availability for the developer. Uh, Believe me, while the government has taken a temporary decision now to fund the 20% of the outstanding amount recently, which has worked very, very well for all the developers in the whole country, I believe that a bigger decision needs to be taken by the government where the risk weightage attached to the real estate loans has to come down, where the RBI and the government need to act upon it. The rate of interest offered to the real estate developers are very, very high. So very few developers in the country who are listed perhaps, okay, they have got access to the easy finance as well as the low cost finance. So very few developers are there. I can say not more than 1% or even 1% is way high. I'm saying it. So more than 99% of developers are not having access to easy finance as well as the low cost finance. What does it mean again? The developers struggle to get finances. Developers cost of finance is very, very high, and that again pushes the cost of the property very on a higher side. Again, same. Okay, if RBI and the government can act together on this and involve the all the financial institutions, the banks, and do something, take some initiatives to address the risk weightage attached to it, okay, and provide some comfort to the financial institutions. And then what will happen is the cost of finance will come down. Cost of finance come down, the cost of product will come down, and again, the more customers are going to buy the home, okay, and perhaps the housing for all cannot be fulfilled till the time this kind of initiatives are taken by the government, and then everybody is going to be benefited. The government, the developers, and the customers, everybody is going to be benefited through this kind of initiatives. And I believe that, hope that the government will soon act on this.
That's true. Single window clearance is a long-standing demand from the real estate industry. Industry status for real estate sector so that they can get easy loans is again a very long-standing demand. Faceless transaction. People say if taxes, income tax can be faceless, why not real estate clearances can be faceless and everything online? So yes, these are some long-standing, and correctly said, if we can correct these, real estate, when government is saying let's have affordable housing, this is one of the ways, few ways that it can do it. Coming to VTP Realty now, one of the USP of VTP Realty is its backward integration, and most of the construction materials being sourced from the group companies. So has that helped in this difficult time when this was one of the biggest pain point for most developers sourcing the materials? How did it work for VTP Realty?
See, this has been a strength of VTP Realty since it started. Okay, so we have been saying this that more than 50-60% of the material, the hardcore material required for constructing a project, they are sourced in house. So we are the largest supplier of cement in Pune, leading supplier of steel and RMC and AC blocks and admixtures and hardcore construction materials. Okay, so a lot of benefits accrue to the VTP Realty because of this. One, we get to know the trends, what are going to happen to these construction materials much sooner than anybody else can do that. Okay, it could be on the supply side, it could be on the demand side, it could be on the price trend side. If the prices are going to go up, if the prices are going to go down, if there is going to be any constraint on the supply side, so we need to buy more. Okay, so all those things has been the strength. Obviously, that has again proved our strength during this challenging time as well. Okay, and that has proved our strength, and that has helped us, much better than any other developer in the whole industry. Okay, so we have got a better access, or you can say easy access to these hardcore construction materials at a better cost compared to any other developer in the industry. So this challenging time has not been an excuse, an exception. So okay, so that has again been our strength. Other than that, our strength in the contracting industry also has been another strength for us in terms of, again, we come to know the challenges being faced, or we can foresee the challenges which will be forced by the real estate industry much sooner than other developers can do, because we work for other developers also for constructing their project, and we work with who's who in the whole country. That gives us access to the information across the major markets in the country, okay, across the major developers in the country, and that adds to our own knowledge, and that gives us an ability to forecast what's going to happen even to that contracting kind of industry in a better fashion compared to the other developers. So yes, our strength of being backward integrated developer has proved again, you can say, more important as a strength in this period than the earlier period, I can say that. And we were always much equipped, and we are still much better equipped to handle any kind of crisis or challenging situation even now, just because we are a backward integrated developer.
So that's great. With this diversification, I think the biggest strength is, you're aware of what's going to happen, and the trends and the knowledge that it gives of all the other sectors and across the country probably. So given that, how do you see the next few years for VTP Realty? What are the business strategies for VTP Realty? What are the growth and expansion plans for VTP Realty?
Okay. So VTP Realty has been a growth path, since its inception. So while the group is around 40 years old now, but real estate is around 10 years old, young company, you can say. And within the matter of 10 years, we are the largest developer of Pune. And we keep saying this, we are one of the largest families of Pune within a very short time as a VTP Realty. And we have been leaders of Pune's real estate since last 2 years. So we got the leadership position in Pune, since last 2 years, and we increased the lead over the second player in the last financial year. So at VTP Realty, we have been quite thoughtful in everything what we do, be it the location that we acquire for any project, be it the way we design and plan the project, be it the way we price it, be it the way we provide the amenities and specifications inside each project. So practically, we have been thoughtful for our customers. We have been thoughtful for our employees. Okay, so everybody who is connected with the VTP Realty, so our approach has been thoughtful. So at VTP Realty, we do everything quite thoughtfully. So be it the growth that we want to achieve, be it the project that we want to launch, be it the way we behave with the customers, or be it the way we treat our employees, we have been quite thoughtful. And we keep saying that VTP Realty is a world of thoughtfulness. And that thoughtfulness has taken us to the top position in Pune's real estate. And yes, we would like to continue to be at the top, Sapna, okay, in the coming years as well. And we are working on it. So VTP Realty is a very important company that we are trying to build upon. So VTP Realty is a highly aggressive company, I can say, in terms of the growth plans. At the same time, highly grounded one. So everyone at VTP Realty, be it at a top level or at the HOD level, at the junior level, okay, is highly grounded, where we give huge importance to the ground level pulse. Okay, so on one side, we will have very aggressive plans for growth in the coming years as well, irrespective of the corona or any other challenges coming up in the market. At the other time, we'll be completely grounded so that our foundations remain strong and we grow with the fundamentals in place. And want to be off track with respect to the consumer behaviors, which is ever changing nowadays, and with respect to the fast changing trends in the market. Okay, so we will be totally grounded, and at the same time, we will surely like to multiply our business coming forward also. So we have grown 20 times our sales turnover in last 5 years. 20 times, irrespective of the GST or the RERA or the demonetization or so-called issues in the economy. We have grown 20 times our sales turnover, and yes, in the coming times as well, we like to multiply this business, and so our growth plans are intact. Okay, and so we are grounded, we are dynamic, and we'll keep on changing the new trends and setting the new benchmark for the
Are we
industry.
going to see VTP Realty in other cities as well?
Yes, we wish to. We wish to be in the other cities for sure. The first city that we are looking at obviously is Mumbai. Okay, and so Mumbai. So we are looking at a lot of proposals currently, but yes, we are quite selective. We are quite cautious because we know that real estate is a local business, and we have seen other top developers in the country at a national level struggling and facing a lot of challenges when they go out to different cities. So yes, we understand those challenges when somebody wants to enter into different cities. So we will enter into different cities for sure, with our philosophy of being thoughtful, with our philosophy of being disruptive, with our philosophy of being dynamic, be with our philosophy of being customer centric. At the same time, respecting the local nuances of those, real estate market in the particular city. So we will surely enter different cities in the coming time.
So that's what Mr. Bhandari is saying, aggressive but cautious approach to the business plans and the expansion plans. And given what you just mentioned, 20 times growth in 5 years, that's phenomenal. And we wish you continued growth and continued, best of projects we have seen, VTP Realty keeps coming out with. So thank you so much, Mr. Bhandari, for sharing those wonderful views on real estate and particularly the insights in Pune market. Thank you so much for being here with us
Thanks
and
a lot,
sharing your
Sapna.
time.
Thanks a
Thank you,
lot.
Mr.
Thanks a
Bhandari.
lot for asking very relevant questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.